And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude, and we're starting a new month. The month of June has started. How you feeling, Fred Blanton?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's June.
Can you believe that? I mean, 2025 is here, and we're already going on halfway through it.
It's been a good one so far. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, I think it has been. Cheers to that. First sip, over 200 episodes in that block, a live event. We've got another one this month, folks. Cheers.
Shop floor coffee, by the way.
How's it taste?
Woo!
That good?
Yeah. I think this is the red towel.
Yeah, nice. Well, big shout out to the Shop Floor Coffee, and I loved that. It's been a good year, Fred. In the beginning of the year, we had things that we were doing. Remember, you haven't asked me about the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Remember that one?
Oh, I do. I remember, and I hadn't asked you for a reason.
Okay. And because the reason he hasn't asked me, folks, is because he probably knows that I've been slipping in that area. Russ Hammond, good morning. Good morning, Russ. And look at here, it's a hero. Boom, to the show this morning, Aaron Jacobitz. I like it. This guy's attitude off the chain. I love it.
Next level today. With Aaron here, it's next level.
I believe the refrigeration heroes are going to take things to a new level in this next 6 months. And that'll be fun to watch.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not all heroes wear capes. In the beginning of the year, I was going to do everything perfectly, or not perfectly, but really try hard to keep things clean and organized. It helps me tremendously. How do you think I'm doing?
I would say that it could be a struggle some weeks.
True.
It's probably always on your mind. Good morning, DT. Let's go.
DT! Let's do it. It's one of those things where, and I, you know my favorite word, and I may use the word several times this morning, overcome. So we see ourselves, we know ourselves. I know for me personally, when I am organized, when I have got everything and I can go, oh, that's a magic spot right there,
yeah.
Fred.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You took a big sniff.
Breathing.
Okay. Did it smell clean? Through
the nose. It smells clean. It smells organized. The plants are watered. You know, these little things like plants, you know, you've got to have care. You've got to have patience. You've got to water it. Those are the types of things that I have here because they keep me on a certain track, just like making the bed for you in the morning. Talk about you for a second. I'm tired of talking about me.
The bed was made this morning.
Let's go.
Cold water for sure. Done.
Yeah. And what we're going to talk about today, is back to the basics. Blocking and tackling. You know, if the coach is going on a losing streak and they've tried all sorts of flea flickers and reverse options and their new defenses. Let's run to 46. What do they do sometimes just to make sure that they're getting the most out of their players?
You tell me.
Back to the basics.
Oh.
We're gonna focus on doing the basic things that made us a professional ball player, that got us in the game. Before we do that, before we talk about getting back to the basics, if you've got a back to the basic idea in your head, put it in the comments because we're going to do a quote first. And the quote is going to be right here, I guess.
Maybe.
Quote of the day. Quote of the day. Get your mind right. Okay. I like to do this I'd sneak around the mobile version. The E is not fixed, and Freddie's thinking about that right now. But
because you asked to be held accountable for the E not being fixed.
The E is not fixed, and I should be held accountable for it. And we will continue to do this and berate the average dude until the E is fixed. It might happen today. It might happen by 9 a.m. this morning, if you can believe that. Quote of the day, we're talking about back to the basics. We're talking about doing those things that just work. A lot of great quotes. I love this one the most, and I'm going to put this one up here. To be simple is to be great. To be simple is to be great. What do you think, Fred?
Well, I think it's just a reminder. Don't overcomplicate everything.
Amen.
It doesn't have to be hard.
It doesn't have to be hard. And we sometimes we think if we're giving a speech, if we're making a comment on this show, for goodness sakes. I mean, a lot of times when you're doing things every day, you start to, wow, I'm trying to name that folder and having some trouble here. Nope. Okay, we're going to forget about putting the quote up, and I'm going to talk to you. Sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves to sound intelligent, to sound like we've got everything figured out, as if people in the audience or whoever's listening to us think that the same is true. And that's not true. A lot of times the easiest, simplest approach and statement is exactly what we need to do. So now let's talk about back to the basics, what that actually means. I did go over and grab a few things. So we talk about the core principles and foundational habits, and I'm going to read off 4 things that are just the kind of these were my 4, Fred.
These are your 4. This is not AI generated. This came from you, your heart, your brain. This is straight from the average dude.
Sleep. Got to get my sleep. I need at least 8 hours per night. Nutrition. This is a funny one. People say, dang, Daniel, you're thin. You don't need to lose weight. I don't want to lose weight, but it's important that I eat the right things. Even at a thin weight, I want to feel strong. I want to feel I want to feel like my body's not working too hard to digest things. So all the same rules apply. So sleep and food intake. What am I putting into my body on a daily basis? And before we go into these things again, for me, it's right or wrong, good or bad. I mean, we have these gray areas. Is this moving me towards the best version, the best energy, the best mindset, the best that I can be, or is it not? And what I have found, anytime I fall into that gray area, I'm actually not growing. I'm just kind of pedaling along. So getting very strict on yourself with these things. The other thing, movement, physical activity. When I made most of my improvements, I was simply looking at doing 10,000 steps per day.
Yeah.
You wake up, you move 10,000 steps. And then
let's say it's 9:30. It's 9:30 p.m. You're tired, and you've got 8,700 steps. What do you do?
You finish it. Here's the thing. I remember one time on a sitcom that I was watching. It was Bob Newhart, which I love his comedy style. And he walked in and he was going to see a minister, and this minister was telling him about all this new age, new way of doing things. Well, things have changed, and he says, "Well, I've got a question." He said, "The devil, he still is bad, right?" I mean, and at the end of the day, sometimes we have all these changes and we get away from the things, those core basic things that work. What is right for us and what is wrong for us is all that we need to think about. we sometimes get into that thing. Well, not everybody thinks this is wrong or bad, or Freddie does it. And no, what I have found in my experience, if I think that I should do that or not do that, and I do it anyway, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or says or what their moral compass says. This is me, and this is where I am today. What is right? What is wrong? It's a binary personal development.
It's binary, not non-binary.
Not non-binary. It's binary. You've got two choices. You've got two choices. It's right or it's wrong. No gray area. Thanks for the clarification. Aaron says planning and time block your day and week consistently. Confused people do nothing. What do you think about that one?
Oh, it's 100% on the money.
Yeah. Now, what do you do? And I'd love to hear Aaron jump in on this. What do you do if you planned to, let's say, make calls and you wake up and you're not in that prospecting mood? Are you going to switch it for another activity, or because you have it on the schedule, do you push through? And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong to this, but this is things that I face sometimes.
Well, why are you worried about your feelings?
Amateurs
listen to their feelings.
I hear you. More than feeling here, I'm talking more about attitude. Do I have the right mindset to be effective? Have I done the things that it takes to have the effective mindset? Because and now this is a fine line, and Aaron's a sales manager. And there's certainly that idea of you may not feel like making a call. You make one, now you feel better and you can kind of continue. But I'm a big believer in getting your mind right so that you are effective when you're making that. There's a big difference. You can make people say cold calls aren't effective. You're not in the right mindset. You're going into it unprepared to get information, in my mind, to get information. And you're just, like you say, I'm just going to get through it. I'm just going to do it anyway. Bam. It becomes less effective. That's why I ask you that question. I think it's.
So are you saying, let's say on a Sunday, somebody stayed up late, they ate terrible food, they didn't work out, and Monday they had a time block from 8 to 9:30 to make calls, and they wasn't ready?
See, that's here. I'm going to give a few caveats here. Something is greater than nothing. You've got to do something. So you can't play the game of, okay, I'm just going to take this off the calendar and we're not going to do anything for that time period. What I would personally suggest in that situation, now I'm here, I'm going to make sure that since it's Monday, I am thinking right away about starting to do the things where I feel like myself. I've got the energy, I've got the pop. And then I'm going to, in that beginning stage, do the things where maybe I'm planning, maybe I'm researching. So when I feel it, I've got.
What if you don't feel it? What if you don't ever feel it?
Yeah, listen to that. It starts with planning activities when you know you are at your best. And that's right. If you look, when do you making calls, Fred? When are you anytime?
Anytime. And when you feel like, oh man, you know what? When you want to be in your feelings, oh, I plan, but I don't feel like it. My mindset's not right. Here's what you do. Pretend that you were in a fishbowl. Your wife, your children, people that depend on you, your LinkedIn followers, your Facebook followers, your Instagram followers, everybody is sitting around you in this arena watching you fail at what you committed to do. Now, either you're going to pick up the phone and get your mind right, or you're going to sit there and be a coward, period.
I love that approach, and this is why we do the show. We get the yin and the yang. We get the different ways of approaching it. I love that idea. At the end of the day, we've got to do things. We've got to make things happen. Aaron Jacobitz, loved having you here this morning. If Monday mornings are tough, send emails and make calls later in the day. Know how to plan that puts you in the best opportunity. That's right. It all starts with planning activities that you know you're at your best. Know yourself, know when your energy is up, plan the right activities, have a great week, have a great month. Fred, what you want to tell the people?
If Monday mornings are tough, you got a problem on Sunday.
Amen. Bobcat delivers is what DT says.
Come on, DT.
Let's roll. Bye-bye.